You walk through the darkness of your own mind, a silent stranger staring back at you from the mirror. An ache pulses deep in your chest, a hunger for love that can't be satisfied, like reaching out to catch stars, only to find your hands empty. You wonder why the affection you seek always feels just out of reach, like a dream that slips away at dawn. The night is quiet, but inside you a storm rages, and it's been raging so long you've grown numb to its thunder. In the depths of your soul, a distant voice keeps asking, why do you keep chasing these shadows of affection? Have you paused to question where this need comes from? You might not have noticed how the story of your longing began, but maybe it started long ago when you were very young and love was scarce, when comfort felt like a ghost slipping through your fingers. Those early messages became the soil where your endless yearning took root. Maybe you spent childhood nights crying silently, praying for someone to hold you. Those tears are still buried deep in your bones, guiding your steps in the dark. Whenever you seek love, it's that child inside you reaching out, hoping for the safe harbor you once dreamed of. You're replaying an old script, searching for a different ending that never comes. Right now, your heart is pounding with that familiar ache, and you might feel ashamed of it. But this hunger inside you is not a flaw. It's a wound that's been left open for too long. It has been your silent companion, an unseen chain whispering that you aren't enough unless someone else props you up. Tonight, that chain feels heavier than ever. Isn't it time you face this truth? The hunger inside you is not something to hide away, but a wound that wants to heal. And that wound, it began long ago, long before you even knew how to speak. Now it's bleeding in echoes, calling out for healing instead of more pain. In those earliest chapters of your life, the love you craved was elusive. Your caregivers might have been distant or distracted, giving affection only when you earned it. You learned to swallow that disappointment, believing maybe you had to be perfect just to keep someone's attention. This became your first lesson. Love is conditional, and sometimes it's gone when you need it most. As you grew, you adapted to that world in order to survive. You became fiercely independent or painfully anxious, anything to protect that little self inside. You stayed up late, hoping for a sign of care, a goodnight hug, a word of praise, a smile when you walked in the door. But often those gestures were missing, and the child you were learned to settle for whatever comfort it could find. Now, as an adult, you see how those early attachments haunt your relationships. You chase stability because you fear another vanishing act. You find yourself clinging to people who don't truly see you, or pushing them away when they get too close, repeating the same patterns you knew as a child. The innocent part of you still expects the script to change, but the cycle keeps repeating. Think about someone who left scars on your heart, someone who still walks through your dreams. They hurt you deeply, but also felt familiar, a mirror of your own pain. The connection you shared was intense and confusing, burning bright and unforgettable, like a fire you couldn't escape. That is a trauma bond, chains forged from shared wounds and longing. In a trauma bond, pain feels like love. Every fight, every tear, every moment of distance somehow pulls you back together, binding you with an invisible red thread. You become addicted to the chaos, believing that if you walk away, nothing else will understand you as deeply. You tell yourself, this is what love feels like, because it's the only love you remember, even if it came wrapped in hurt. You seek these painful connections because familiarity is your comfort. Just as you expect betrayal, you also expect closeness disguised as pain. It's as if you're trying to heal a burn with a flame. You keep adding one kind of hurt on top of another, hoping this time it will finally leave you unbroken. When love became something to chase, you turned to everyone around you for scraps of affirmation. Each compliment, each small sign of approval felt like oxygen to your soul. You inhaled it eagerly because it was all you had. In those moments, you convinced yourself, this will make me whole. But it always feels fleeting. No matter how many shining eyes or likes you collect, the emptiness remains. Each kind word is like filling a leaky bucket. Every drop of praise rises on the surface only to seep right through the cracks. Every heart on your feed, every compliment from a friend lifts you for a moment, but then it's gone, leaving you gasping again. You grow weary chasing these phantoms. You are a mirror looking for another mirror, reflecting validation back and forth, but never creating an image of your own. In that emptiness, you feel small and hollow, desperate to be seen. Yet the love you seek in others' eyes is a phantom, an illusion that can never truly fill the void inside you. Slowly, you begin to realize that no one else's approval can complete you. You learned early on that attachments can end abruptly, so you guard them with all your might. The thought of someone you love slipping away is a phantom at the edge of your vision, always looming. You become hyper-aware, scanning each gesture for signs of goodbye. This fear seeps into everything you do, making you cling desperately, hoping to never be left alone again. But that very clinging energy can create what you most dread. You squeeze relationships too tight, pushing people away without meaning to. It's a cruel loop. The more desperately you try to hold on, the more the other feels trapped and wants to escape. Each departure confirms your deepest fear, and each reunion feels like a brief reprieve, not lasting solace. In a way, you've been bracing yourself for loss for so long that you forget how to fully accept love when it's offered freely. Perhaps loving yourself enough to let go when you need to is the key to breaking the cycle. The very hand you build around your heart in defense might be the one that eventually keeps it safe. You are not beyond healing. This could be the moment your story changes. Beneath all the pain, there is a divine spark inside you, something sacred and unbreakable. Imagine your heart not as a broken vase, but as a galaxy full of light waiting to shine. The love you've been seeking from others has been within you all along, flickering softly in the dark. Begin by turning inward. That child who needed comfort so desperately is still there, precious and vulnerable. Wrap them in your arms. Speak softly to them. Promise them safety and acceptance. Practice kindness to your own soul and watch the world around you start to shift. Release those false reflections of love that were never meant for you. You deserve love that is unconditional, from yourself and from something greater than pain. Imagine a warm sun rising within your chest, melting away the frozen places where doubt and fear once lived. You have a right to that warmth, that light. Every time you choose yourself, you honor the divine life that flows through you. There is a presence greater than your sorrow. Call it spirit, call it the universe, call it unconditional love, and it has been holding you all along. Your worth isn't measured by someone else's affection, but by the fact that you exist and breathe in this world. Let each scar become a testament to your strength, each tear a river that nourishes your inner garden. You've been running through the darkness for so long, now you are stepping into the dawn. Carry this truth with you. You are worthy, you are loved, and you are never alone. The divine spark within has guided your path, even in the darkest nights. Every step you take toward loving yourself is a step home. Now finally, you are coming into the light, into yourself.